Alright, hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to point out one thing that I'm making a real quick guide for. This is understanding resistances and Wrath of the Lich King. This is a very complicated topic, but it's really not that hard to understand. But long story short, as a tank, you want to get double Onyxia Ring, then you use the Flask of Resistances, that's from Alchemy, crafting. You'll use Flask right here. It'll be Flask of Lesser Resistance, I believe. Yes, Lesser Flask of Resistance. Gives you 50 all resists. Plus you have the Aura, Paladin Aura, that's going to give you 130. So 50% damage reduction cap is 510, 40% is 340, 30% is 219. So the Aura gives 130, Syndragos' Heroic Trinket gives 268. So calculating that, that means that you need 112 resistance to hit the static breakpoint. To reach the 40% static goal, you also need 210 static resistances. That's 340 right here, minus 130, which is 210. You're not going to reach that, so you want to go for the 30% cap, which is 219. 219 minus 130 is, I believe it's 89. So going for the 112 resistance gives you the 30% cap as well. So this is the cap to go for. You need 112 resistances on all your gear for that resistance to reach the 50% breakpoint when you're using Syndragos' Trinket, and 30% when you're not using Syndragos' Trinket. To explain this, you want 112 minus double Onyxia Ring. That is right here. Onyxia is a layer. A lot of people say these rings are trash. They're not, but they are useless. Both of these rings are useless, and the Emblem of Triumph ring is far better. So right here, this ring right here is your best in slot armor ring because it gives 560 armor plus the strength, the defense, the dodge. This is the best armor ring in the game outside of the Ice Crown Citadel ring, as you can see right here from Belithria. So everybody knows Devium is number one. This ring is number one. It's unchangeable. You can argue that the Trial of the Crusader 10-man ring is also best. Uh, where is it? It is right here, Band of the Twin Valkyr. You can use this instead, but I would prefer the Emblem of Triumph ring. This one does have a gem socket, however. But long story short, that the Emblem of Triumph ring or this one is the best ring you're going to get without resistance being factored in. But if you use both Onyxia rings, they will give you the damage breakpoint for 50%, as I just shown you. The 50% damage breakpoint, it's pretty much one of the only effective ways of doing it. I would not recommend going for this damage breakpoint on anything that's not a DK or a bear, because threat is going to be an issue. Even on bear, you lose out on threat. Paladins, you will need the threat from the strength from the rings, so therefore you lose out on threat there. DKs can generate a lot of threat without the strength, so they can go without. But the double Onyxia ring gives you the 55 for that, leaving only 57 resistance from each resist to reach the cap after that. So now that we need 57 to all resistances, we're going to want to go with the flask that I had earlier mentioned right here, the lesser resistance. That's 50, putting it down to 7 left. So we need to get a resistance for each resist. We need to get that resistance from something. So what we can do is we can use the potion of resistances. So I don't see where it's at. Give me a second to find it. There is a resistance potion, but I would not recommend this. I don't see it quite yet. Yeah, magic resistance potion. So for 3 minutes, it'll give you 50 to all resist. I don't recommend that, as I would prefer using the potion of armor, indestructible. So that's a temporary, momentary boost to your resistances. If you don't reach these breakpoints, by the way, your resistance is negligible and it's overcapped, so it's like it doesn't matter. You're either at one breakpoint or the other breakpoint. So back on the ranch, you have the reputation factions. I would go with, if I had double Onyxia ring and I'm tanking, you want to get the double Onyxia ring, the flask of resistances, and then you'll go with the Argent Crusade. this one right here, Arcanum of the Fleeing Shadow. This gives 25 shadow resistance. This allows you to reach the shadow resistance cap, so you can soak like spirits and stuff on Lich King at a reduced percentage. Because going from 40% to 50%, it's only 10%, right? But that's wrong, because if you're taking 60% of the damage as a baseline, say the spirits do 50,000 damage, and you're taking 40% less, so that is 20k. You're going from 30k damage to 25k damage per spirit hitting you. Uh, this is only 5k, yeah, but when you consider it, it's 5 out of 25k. So you're taking 20% less damage from that. It's kind of like a layman's terms, but essentially, the closer you get to 100%, the more valuable it is, because it scales exponentially, right? Like a parabola. So it's not linear value; it's exponential value. So going from 40% to 50% is huge in terms of damage reduction. So yeah, going with Arcanum of the Fleeing Shadow on your helmet enchant, and then going with the Sons of Hodir as your other enchant right here. It is, where's the resistance? Right here. Okay, so this is a head enchant. I'm not sure if there's a shoulder enchant that gives resistances. So you have to choose between the two. You can have these in your inventory, and you could swap them out to get the resistance. But that's one way to get the resistance. I mean, we all know about the craftables that give you more resistance. So you can have like one item in your inventory that gives you frost resist that you'll put on, like a belt. You can put on like the belt, or like a pair of boots or something that will give you frost resistance. That'll give you 10% damage reduction versus Indragosa. Or there's like another way of getting the shadow resistance. Let me see. Arcanum of the Toxic Warding. This is the head enchant. So most of these look like they're head enchants. I don't believe that there is a shoulder enchant, but I might be wrong. I do know leatherworking specifically has item enhancements for your bracers, so you can get nature resist, shadow resist, frost resist right here. So like this right here, 70 frost resist will put you at the breakpoint. And if you get any of these, you can go frost or shadow resist from this. It'll give you the 70 resistance there plus these. So as you can see, you only need 57. The 70 from leatherworking will put you over the breakpoint where you don't need to use the flask. So the leatherworking resistance on your bracers is crucial there if you want to go without the flask, and you want to use like the health flask. So you can use the health flask and the leatherworking resistance to reach the breakpoint as well. Overall, the leatherworking resistances can be quite helpful, or you can just swap between the arcanums from the reputations. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're able to reach this cap and get that resistance. So that's how you do it. This was researched through one of my friends, Bangarang. He was respected on True WoW. He came to Warmane. A lot of people used to raid with him. I think his name, like his guild name, was like Passion or something. They used to raid for quite a while. They were doing LOD runs on a different server. And he looked into game files and checked that there were breakpoints and stuff, and gave me the information that I have here. So you guys can thank him in the comment section. Thank me for the video if you like. Hit that like button, subscribe. I'll catch y'all in the next one, and thank you for watching.